Breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news. Part of a Durham road is shut down right now as police investigate a deadly shooting. What we've learned about the man who died.
Also, a serious crash injures 3 people, including children. We'll tell you what happened right near the entrance to Dix Park in Raleigh.
And we have showers out there this morning. We'll talk about who's likely to see a wet commute.
And Wake school leaders will address maintenance issues during a meeting today, the HVAC problems at schools throughout the county. And just yesterday, Broughton High School had issues with its HVAC system. And since the start of the school year, we've heard about a number of schools dismissing early or closing because of HVAC issues. So certainly a problem. We'll look into that this morning. Good morning, everyone. It's 4:30. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Good to have you with us here. Yeah, and that heat, not the problem really today. We're getting a couple of showers out there. We see it on the radar. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now.
Yeah, some of your commute may be wet this morning, especially from the Triangle area northward. That's where we're seeing just a few light showers right now. A little bit of that down into the Sandhills as well, parts of Hoke County, as well as Moore County and Lee County. But we'll head up to the north of Hillsborough, north of Durham, near Creedmoor over toward Lewisburg. We're seeing that patchy rain roll across the area. So not too much of that in our most heavily traveled areas right now, but that could change as we get through the morning. Here's a look at Futurecast. Much of what we see today is likely to be patchy. And again, mostly from the Triangle area northward. We may see another wave that comes through around the evening commute, but notice how a lot of that really is focused a little farther north. That's where a cold front is today, and it's going to be stalled just up to our north today. Take a live look at Zebulon this morning. It is 73 with a dew point of 70, so it feels very much like summer as you're stepping out the door. But we don't get out of the 70s later this afternoon. We'll see high temperatures just in the upper 70s, again with gray skies all day and those showers and thunderstorms. We're still looking at a potential tropical cyclone. It's number 9 down here in the Caribbean. It's moving northwest at 6 miles per hour. The winds at 35, so strong enough winds for it to be a tropical storm, but it's just not got that closed circulation. It is likely to become Cat 2 as it makes landfall here somewhere around the Big Bend of Florida by Thursday morning. And then the path mainly takes it to the west of us, but it doesn't mean that we won't see any rain. We'll talk about how much we could see on Friday coming up.
The breaking news we're following right now. A man is dead after a shooting in Durham. It happened at 11:30 last night near Holloway Street and North Hyde Park Avenue. Nick Perlin joins us live from the Durham Police Department right now in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Nick, police are looking for the person responsible for this.
And Jeff, they've been looking all night and early into this morning as the shooting happened at around 11:30, and we're still trying to get more information about who fired those gunshots. Now let's get you to some video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. This is on North Holloway Avenue and North Hyde Parkway Avenue. This is where the shooting happened, and we know you can see here there's evidence markers and investigators shining flashlights onto buildings here. We do know at around 11:30 that's when gunshots started to ring out here, and one man was shot and taken to the hospital. Shortly thereafter, he sadly died. At this point in time, we're still working with the Durham Police Department to find out the identity of the victim. And of course, again, who's responsible for firing those gunshots. Once we get more information, we'll be sure to update you. Live in Durham, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
At least 3 people, including children, are hurt after a car crashed into a tree in Raleigh. This happened just after 9 last night near the entrance to Dix Park on Western Boulevard. Video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows a badly damaged car sitting in the median. Police say the car crossed the median, hitting a tree. 6 people were in the car, 5 of them were children, and 3 have serious injuries. Police are working to learn whether speed or alcohol was a factor.
Students and staff at NC State are being warned about a series of car break-ins on campus. University police sent out a wolf alert last night about 3 break-ins in Lee Lot. It also reported 4 break-ins on University Drive and Fraternity Court in Greek Village. This followed an alert earlier Monday about a half dozen break-ins at the State View Hotel. The break-ins all happened over the weekend. Nothing was reported stolen.
Today, ballots start going out to the more than 200,000 North Carolinians who requested them by mail. To vote by mail. WRAL's Laura Levine joins us live from the State Board of Elections, and this comes after a delay in the rollout of those ballots. Laura.
Renee, good morning. We have 42 days until Election Day, and starting today, the county boards of elections will begin mailing out tens of thousands of those absentee ballots. So we have new numbers for you this morning. So far, county boards have received more than 600,000 absentee ballot requests for this election. And this includes more than 19,000 requests from military and overseas voters. 102 ballots have been returned by military and overseas voters whose ballots were sent to them on Friday. Karen Brinson-Bell says election officials have been working long hours through the night and into weekends because of that court-ordered delay in voting in this case connected to RFK getting off the ballot. Meanwhile, North Carolina is one of 20 states the FBI is investigating after suspicious packages were sent to election officials and offices. The state elections director says security is her #1 priority.
At the end of the day, the core, we are not going to be intimidated by this. We're going to do the core work, the very compass that drives us, and that is to ensure that every eligible voter is able to cast their ballot.
She also emphasized the importance for people to know the new laws that have changed since 2020. So ballots now have to be delivered back to the state by Election Day in order for that vote to count. Also, if you're voting by mail, make sure that you build in some extra time. The deadline to request absentee ballot is October 29th. Laura Levine, WRAL News. We're live in Raleigh.
Republican gubernatorial candidate Mark Robinson's campaign is coming under even more scrutiny as Robinson says he plans to, quote, go after CNN. This comes days after CNN published a report linking Robinson to an account that posted lewd and offensive comments on a pornography website. That includes one where the user calls himself a black Nazi. The report led to pressure for Robinson to drop out of the race and later to the resignations of several of his campaign's leaders. Robinson says he will not leave the race. Former President Donald Trump has in the past shown support for Robinson, but he did not mention Robinson during a rally in Wilmington Saturday. Former Republican Governor Pat McCrory is now questioning the party's vetting process in selecting Robinson.
It's happened to both parties where if you don't do the right vetting, it will bite you at the end of a campaign when these things are released. And believe me, this was most likely released in a scheduled timing manner.
The Republican Governors Association says it has no further ads for Robinson planned in the state. Robinson has no upcoming public events listed on his campaign website.
Today, Wake County school leaders will take a look at hundreds of $millions in maintenance work that's falling behind. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from Broughton High School in Raleigh. This comes a day after Broughton experienced issues with its HVAC system. Kelsey.
Renee, that was the second time this school year where there's been an HVAC issue here at Broughton High School. Students had to be sent back home last month because of the same issue. Today, Wake school leaders will address this and some other maintenance problems. Wake schools are nearly $800 million behind in maintenance costs. We expect to hear an update about what's all included in those backups. We should get a list of schools where roofs, asphalt, and sewer lift pumps are more than 5 years out of date. But something to note here, we don't expect to see a list of school systems with out-of-date HVAC systems. That meeting is scheduled to start today at 1 o'clock, so we'll be sure to keep you updated. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Tonight, parents can get a chance to ask questions in person about reassignment plans for Wake County schools. An open house about the plans is happening at Herbert Akins Road Middle School. That's in Fuquay-Varina from 6 to 8 tonight. The plan involves shuffling students from dozens of schools in the southern part of the county next fall. A final draft of the plan will be presented in November.
Beginning tomorrow, drivers in the southern part of Wake County will have a new route for their morning commute. The first phase of the Complete 540 project is now complete and will open tomorrow morning at 6. It's an extension of the NC 540 toll road that will connect the NC 55 bypass in Apex to the I-40 and I-42 interchange in Garner. Most interchanges will open tomorrow except for the eastbound half of the Bells Lake Road interchange and the Old Stage Road exit. Both of those areas are expected to open in November. Drivers should expect some delays as crews complete ongoing work. The North Carolina Turnpike Authority will celebrate that opening with a ribbon cutting later today. Today, President Joe Biden is expected to address the growing Middle East conflict as he speaks to the UN General Assembly. His speech gets started as the General Assembly gets started, is also expected to highlight support for Ukraine. The agenda for the week-long summit of world leaders also includes meetings about rising sea levels and threats to global health. Security in New York is tight ahead of this summit. Authorities say there are no credible threats against the event.
Also, Renee, the U.S. says it does not support the escalation in attacks by Israel on Hezbollah targets in Lebanon. Israel has dramatically expanded its assaults on Hezbollah in recent days. Hundreds of strikes Monday killed nearly 500 people. A senior State Department official says the Biden administration plans to work with its allies to try to prevent the situation from spreading further. The official said the U.S. is taking Israel's preparations for a potential ground invasion of Lebanon seriously. Boeing says it has made its final offer to striking workers. What is included as the deadline to reach an agreement looms?
And the preparations underway in Florida as a storm that could become Hurricane Helene is set to rapidly intensify.
And we give you this live look in Clinton this morning. Good morning to you. It has been the wettest year on record so far. We could get more. How much more rain we could see this week and where we could see some flooding as well. Stay with us.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:42. I'm tracking a cold front that is headed our way. That front, well ahead of it, is bringing some scattered showers for us this morning, and we'll continue to see that on and off during the day today. Most of that is going to be from the Triangle area northward, but we are seeing a few scattered showers down here in the Sandhills as well this morning, but a lot of it's going to be kind of along the I-85 corridor as we get through the day. Take a look at our rain chances, and they're pretty steady all day, going to be 40 to 50% kind of on and off all during the day. There's not really going to be one time of day that feels wetter than another, but it's not going to be widespread this morning. So some folks are going to be dealing with some wet conditions during the morning commute, but not everybody. Temperatures range from the mid 60s to low 70s as you're headed out the door. And our high temperatures this afternoon only climb into the upper 70s. If you're hoping to get out for exercise, depending on where you are, you may be able to squeeze it in between the showers.
Reggie Bush is suing his former college for using his name, image, and likeness without compensation. The lawsuit alleges the University of Southern California, Pac-12 Conference, and the NCAA have continued to benefit from the 2005 Heisman Trophy winner after he left college. Bush had to forfeit the trophy in 2010 after an investigation found he received money and a car, which wasn't allowed at the time. He got the trophy back earlier this year. Now the players can have NIL deals. Bush's attorneys say they hope the case sets precedent for fair treatment of all college athletes.
Cleanup will continue this morning in parts of Indiana after 2 tornadoes struck the area, leaving a path of damage. This happened in Jay County, that's near the Indiana-Ohio border. The tornado damaged homes and ripped off the roof of a high school. It was closed yesterday and no classes again today as school officials assess the damage.
Boeing says it has made a final offer to its striking workers, the machinists specifically. The offer includes an immediate 12% raise, a 30% raise over the 4-year life of the contract. Another sticking point is retirement benefits. Boeing is offering to increase 401k contribution rates, but union members want the company to bring back its pension. The union has not commented on the new offer.
Former President Donald Trump is planning to return to Butler, Pennsylvania, where he faced an assassination attempt back in July. Sources close to the campaign say Trump will hold a rally on October 5th in Butler. And that's where Trump was shot in the ear during an assassination attempt on July 13th. Trump has mentioned returning to the town, but it's not clear if the rally will take place at the same venue.
The co-founder of the company that developed a Titan submersible says the cause of the implosion that killed 5 people on board may never be known. Guillermo Sonline testified Monday during the Coast Guard's hearing about the disaster. The Ocean Gate co-founder said despite the efforts to learn why it happened, he doesn't believe the mystery will be solved. He also said he is hopeful the disaster will not mark the end to deep sea exploration. The sub imploded 2 miles below the sea level last June while on a journey to the wreckage site of the Titanic.
We are getting a look at the plans to develop the area around the newly named Lenovo Center in Raleigh. These buildings northwest of Carter Finley Stadium, about a 27-acre entertainment district. You see the taller 40-story buildings. Those are along Edwards Mill Road, a 12-acre mixed-use development. The Carolina Hurricanes submitted their rezoning application to the city yesterday. The plan calls for several types of businesses, including retail, entertainment, office space, and live-work areas. Arena parking will be on the northeast side of the arena. WRAL investigative sports reporter Brian Murphy says this is just the beginning of a long process.
And so I think they're asking for a lot more than they may get, right? They want super high buildings. They want, entryway and exit way. So they're going to ask for everything. They're going to ask to rezone this as much as possible. And then they'll see what the city of Raleigh gives them.
Gotta dream big. The Hurricanes hope to break ground in December 2025 on the 2 parking structures next to the arena. The proposed parking garage will be a maximum height of 40 stories. The city council's process could take up to 9 months.
Florida's Gulf Coast is bracing for what could be a major hurricane. The storm is brewing right now in the Caribbean Sea and is expected to strengthen into what is going to be potentially a major storm down there. Chris Levengood has a look in the WRAL Live Center right now. All right, Elizabeth Gardner has an even closer look for us right now in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, what we're watching down in the Gulf.
Yeah, he was going to take a look at Hurricane John, which is out in the Pacific, so I'm sure that we'll hear from him coming up in just a little while. Of course, we are focused on what's happening down in the Caribbean, which is a storm that's likely to make landfall by Thursday in Florida and potentially bring us some significant rainfall on Friday. The storm will be Helene. It is still a potential tropical cyclone, and you may remember that from just last week. We had potential tropical cyclone 8 that did all that damage around Carolina Beach and along our coast, and we saw some heavy rain here. The hurricane hunters are headed into that storm today, and they'll come out with some new information. Of course, we are looking for an update in 10 minutes at 5 o'clock, and we'll see if it has become a tropical depression or a tropical storm coming up in just a little bit. But if not at 5 o'clock, probably by 11 o'clock today. Rain and wind are likely for us here locally on Friday. Here's a look at where the storm is right now. It's getting ready to move across the western tip of Cuba and then aiming for Florida. We take a look at the forecast path for the storm, and it does move just off that tip of Cuba, becoming a Category 1 storm as we get into the day today, potentially. And then by tomorrow morning, we're looking at a Cat 2. There was some discussion about whether or not it would be Cat 3 by the time it makes landfall. Of course, there's still a couple of days before that, but it does look like it'll be early in the morning on Thursday, maybe with winds at 105 miles per hour. And then the question is it going to get kicked back to the right? Yesterday, it looked like it was going to, or kick back to the left, I should say. I'm making that left turn. And today, the forecast path takes it a little straighter, and that may bring more rain to our area. As a matter of fact, we take a look at this forecast rainfall that we were checking out yesterday. Yesterday, our viewing area was kind of in the 0.5 to 1 to 1.5 inch total range, and now we're looking at being more in the 2 to 3. So it looks like it's maybe bobbing back a little bit farther to the west. The mountains are going to get hit hardest by this. 5 to 6 inches of rain is going to cause some pretty dramatic flooding there in the mountains. So what we're looking for is some rainfall totals 1 to 3 right now. That could change. Gusting 35 to 45, and then the potential for some isolated tornadoes as well. We have some scattered showers out there this morning. Some of those in the Sandhills and some of those north of Durham this morning, from just south of Roxborough over toward Lewisburg, and then of course down here in the Sandhills from Sanford to Carthage to Southern Pines to Rayford, a few stray showers. We're going to see that continuing on and off during the day today. Checking out Futurecast, you can see just these waves of rain, especially in the northern part of the viewing area. We'll also have the potential for some scattered showers tomorrow as well. 50% chance both days, maybe a little break on Thursday. And then Friday, we're going to be dealing, of course, with a potential tropical system. And we also have the Bluegrass Festival. So if you're planning to go, just make sure you keep checking back with us. We'll let you know if there are any changes to their plan.
Thanks, Elizabeth. A boy who was abducted in California at 6 years of age has been found alive now more than 70 years later. Can you imagine how his family was able to find him after all these years?
And we are now in fall, but it'll be a while before we start to see the leaves change, when you'll have the best chance to view the foliage.